Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
How are you? It is night.
Sorry, man. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for that big yawn. It's just I'm a little bit tired because we were walking.
Yeah, we had a big walk. Mr. Chris and I went on a long walk
Very
tonight.
long walk. Look at that, like 9,472 million steps or something like that. I don't know. It's been on many, many steps we took today. In fact, I'll be right back, Miss Mel.
So we went up. Mr. Chris and I go on a lot of walks with the kids. We have been since quarantine started, and we go around our neighborhood and just walk a circle around our neighborhood. We go in the back of the woods. We have a little path there that they're just about to start to build on. So we're just trying to take advantage of that now. So at night now, with it being so nice and cool, and in the morning, where it's so nice and cool, it's much better. But we still go out midday and we sweat.
Whew,
Oh,
I
boy.
walked so much.
Yeah.
I put holes in my shoes.
For reals.
Look at that. These were brand new when we started
Yes.
today. Brand new.
No,
And now
no,
look at
not
that.
today.
No, we
Hilarious.
put some miles on the pedometer today, which is great.
Yes,
Great.
we
Walking
need
is
to.
great. In fact, Miss Mel, we've been doing walks. Well, I mean, we've been going for walks many times for many years. But recently, we've been doing walks in every Saturday or Sunday morning
Right.
called Edu Walks.
Yes.
Do you want to explain what those are?
So the Edu Walks, we've done, well, I just realized we did 5.
Mm-hmm.
We did our 5th today. I thought it was our 4th. I was telling Mr. Chris, there's no way we could have done 5. Sure enough. So, but Edu Walks are, we walk around and we talk about different subjects that are going to help teachers and students and families. Just maybe some tips and tricks for you about how to make this distance learning and going into this school year with the hybrid and however you're doing it a little bit easier with some tools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Today, our walk today that we did was on Google Hacks.
Yeah.
So if you're a school district or you're using Google, and you probably are, in some respects you're using Google, these are stuff that'll make your Google life a little easier.
Yes. And yeah, then we did our first one was on literacy, and then we did health and wellness,
Mm-hmm.
we did distance learning, and we did relationship building.
And
Those are on our YouTube channel, Mr. Chris.
which is,
YouTube.
you search Nightlight Stories,
Yes.
right?
You search Nightlight Stories, but it's YouTube.
And
I'll
then
look
search
it up.
Nightlight Stories.
You keep looking. I'm going to just pull it right up.
You were talking about walks, and we totally talked about walks when we were talking about the health and wellness, right?
Yes.
And going on walks. And that is actually what the story is today. So a little bit of a background about the walk is that Miss Mel and I used to live in a place called West Virginia. And when we were living in West Virginia, we lived in a house that was on the side of a hill. And we did this loop. Our neighborhood back then was, like I said, on the side of a mountain,
Yes.
not a hill.
Yes. It was a
In the
mountain.
middle of the woods. It was awesome. I mean, we like where we live now too, but now we walk around a neighborhood, and where we walked around there was this mountain. And so the walk was born from going on walks with the family around this loop. And so many of the things that are in this story are things that we actually saw and actually happened on one of our walks.
Yeah, in the woods. When the kids were little. So just so you're aware, Mr. Chris, we wrote this in February of 2012. So that's how old this story
8 years
is. Yeah.
at the time of this recording.
Yeah. So Tucker was about, our son, who's now a sophomore, was probably about first, second grade, and then Maggie was much smaller than that.
Mm-hmm. And she was saying like just a couple words, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Goo goo gaga, I think, is some of the things she was saying.
Oh.
As you'll hear in the story. So,
So hey, thanks for taking a walk with me tonight. I'm a little sweaty.
no, I am very sweaty. Maybe I'll go take a shower here while you read.
Perfect.
All right.
Everyone will thank you.
That could be the next story, the shower.
Yeah. God.
Actually, one thing to know about the walk. Well, we'll say it at the end. What?
You're going to take a shower.
Yeah, but
You won't be here in time. Just tell them.
I will be back.
You're going to walk back this way.
I will.
All right. You'll be back.
See ya.
Okay, see ya. So I'm going to take his seat. Mr. Chris brought a stool and a little space for himself for this year. And so his stool is very high. And I'm like, I'm not sure I like it very much, but he loves it. It's one of those stools that are bouncy on the top. All right, so the walk. Are we ready? Okay. So it's told from the perspective of a young boy. Okay, ready? The Walk by Chris and Melissa Bugay. I got home from preschool one particularly cool March day, and Daddy said, "Let's go for a walk, family." Mama squeezed my head into my baseball cap, although it had the emblem of the Buffalo Bills on it, which is a football team. Weird. Anyways, she made sure it fit nice and snug before she turned to do the same thing to my baby sister, Maggie. I wish I could say that I put my Spidey sneakers on just like Mommy asked. Yeah, I wish I could say that. But instead, I was just so excited, I ran around in circles until Daddy came downstairs wearing a stern look on his face. All it took was for him to say, "You want to go for a walk today, right?" to snap me out of my trance that had me doing the wiggly dance. Coats zipped and sneaks tied, we embarked from the garage, marching down the driveway toward the road. We banked left and headed uphill past our neighbor Barb's house. Miss Barb lived alone. Well, except for her enormous dog Capone, who just happened to be out patrolling the front yard as we strolled by. Capone considered charging us for a moment to shower us with kisses, as he was prone to do from time to time. But he changed his mind at the last minute, opting to bury his nose in a pile of fallen leaves instead. And I said, "Look at how brown that dog is, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how brown that dog is, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how brown that dog is, Maggie." And Maggie said, "Bra, bra, bra, bra," because she's a baby. Turning the corner of the block, we head into what I like to call the forest tunnel, leg of the trip. Even though it really isn't a forest, and it really isn't really even a tunnel. It's just a street like any other street in our neighborhood, but this street happens to be lined with trees on either side that kind of lean in to form a canopy of branches and leaves. Of course, on this particular day, it being March and all, only a few buds had started to spread on the trees, making it look more like we were walking under a spaghetti strainer. Squinting through the holes formed by the interweaving branches and buds, I saw just a few fluffy clouds floating by. And I said, "Look at those clouds! Look how white those clouds are, Daddy!" And Daddy said, "Wow, look how white those clouds are, Mama!" And Mama said, "Ooh, look how white those clouds are, Maggie!" And Maggie said, "Woo, woo, wah, wah," because she's a baby. Now, I'm not bragging or anything, but I'm a pretty good sprinter. You know, I'm not Olympic material or anything like that. But you might say that when I turn on the jets, I'm quicker than quick, if not full out faster than fast. When Daddy shouted, "Ready, set," it was like the muscles in my legs acted all on their own. I was already in full sprint by the time Daddy yelled, "Go!" and already halfway down the road when I heard him yell, "Hit the brakes!" You might think that screeching to a halt is easy, but when your legs are in control of themselves, there's just nothing you can do. You stop when your legs tell you to stop, or when a big gray cat darts in front of you. And I said, "Look how gray that cat is, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how gray that cat is, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how gray that cat is, Maggie." And Maggie said, "Groo, groo, gra, gra," 'cause she's a baby. As we swung around the bend in the road, we came upon a massive hill. Hill? What am I saying? It's more like a mountain. Most slides on most playgrounds aren't as steep as this decline, and I know because I'm what you'd call a playground connoisseur. In order to not go toppling head over heel, you have to lean way back as you take each step. Sure, my toes get scrunched up in the front of my sneaks, but what are you going to do? I've got to make it down the hill somehow. From up here on Mount Falls-a-Lot, I saw far into the valley below, including the river that weaves all the way through the land. And I said, "Look how blue that river is, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how blue that river is, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how blue that river is, Maggie." And Maggie said, "Blue, blue, blah, blah," because she's a baby. You're never alone when you come off the hill, and this little stroll provided to be no exception. Chipmunks scrambled through fallen leaves, crickets chirped a symphony, and woodpeckers hammered away on trees, reminding me that I'll never be lonely on one of these walks. In fact, it was so noisy I couldn't help but get distracted. With noises coming from my left, and noises coming from my right, and noises coming from ahead, and noises coming from behind, I just had to spin around to see if I could spot what was making all the racket. Of course, the more I spun around, the dizzier I got. And you know what happens when you get too dizzy? Whack! You fall right on the ground, facing up to the sky, watching a cardinal fly by. And I said, "Look how red that bird is, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how red that bird is, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how red that bird is, Maggie." And Maggie said, "Roo, roo, rah, rah," because she's a baby. I'm not the kind of kid who likes to lay around all day, so I picked myself up and kept right on walking without even bothering to dust myself off. My mom calls the last corner of the walk Danger Bay. I don't really understand why, because we've never been hurt here, not even once, and there isn't any water to be seen. She says that cars zoom around the corner here super fast, and that's what makes it so dangerous as part of our walk. But I think it's so fun to watch the vehicles zip around the corner, especially because there is this little bump in the road that makes cars and trucks fly in the air a bit when they hit going a little too fast. I can't help but hoot and holler and say, "Oh yeah," when I see one catch some air. I even remember this one time when a big truck came barreling around the corner, hit the bump, and bounced like a tennis ball high in the air. It came down with a ka-ching. And I said, "Look how yellow that truck is, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how yellow that truck is, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how yellow that truck is, Maggie." And Maggie said, "You, yeah, yeah," because she's a baby. Mr. Charlie's house was the last house we passed as we tackled the final leg of the trip. Mr. Charlie is such a funny sort of guy. Every spring, he's always outside, planting in his garden, digging up worms, talking to butterflies, and pruning his bushes. I swear he must be outside every minute of every day, because every time we go for one of our walks, no matter what time it is, Mr. Charlie seems to be outside too, ready to wave to us as we mosey on by. As usual, the barrel-chested, flannel-shirted, gray-bearded man waved a gloved hand, covered in soil above his head as he yelled, "Fine day for a mow, isn't it? The first mow of the year!" Mr. Charlie climbed onto his huge green lawnmower with its enormous black tires as we turned into our driveway. My family and I waved back, but I didn't get a chance to say a thing before the lawnmower's engine coughed a loud roar. The mower spit chewed up grass high in the air as Mr. Charlie drove around his yard. And I said, "Look how green that grass is, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how green that grass is, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how green that grass is, Maggie." And Maggie said, "Groo, groo, Gra-Gra because she's a baby. Getting home was almost as much fun as leaving. Kicking off our sneaks, leaving them in a pile by the door, of course. The whole family scrambled up the stairs to get to the kitchen. Before long, we all sipped on the sweet nectar concoction of a half Gatorade and half water as we nibbled on goldfish crackers and fruit snacks. Yummy! Doesn't quite cut it as a description for just how delectable this treat was, but since I couldn't think of anything else, I just went with the old standby. Yummy! As Mom and Dad talked about the plans for the rest of the evening, a feeling filled my body that I just needed to share. I threw my arms out wide and I said, "Look how much I love you, Daddy." And Daddy said, "Wow, look how much I love you, Mama." And Mama said, "Ooh, look how much I love you, Maggie." And Maggie said, "Lulu la la," because she's a baby. I hope you enjoyed this story. I have to find Mr. Chris because he needs to tell us. Mr. Chris, hi. Did you take a shower?
I did. Of course I did.
Say hi to Jess Hobson.
Hi, Jess Hobson.
She's
Sorry,
on
my
there.
hair
Look,
is
she's
a mess
watching.
right now. So
Wave. Hi, Jess. We're going to wave to you.
So here's
love
what I was going to tell you about the story.
Okay, what?
And that is there's actually a sequel next week. So this story was called The Walk.
Yes.
And the next story is called The Hike, which is all about going on a bike ride. No, of course, it's about a hike, right? So come back next week where we're going to, Miss Mel will read The Hike.
Yes, and we're so excited. Hey, everybody, have an awesome day. Your last day tomorrow off before school starts.
In our neck of the woods.
In our neck of the woods.
Wherever you are, you may have already
Yes.
started school, but
We wish you all a wonderful, wonderful start of the school year. Bye, guys.
bye, everybody. Gotta go for a walk.